Welcome to the Pediatric Dietitian Podcast, where we, Jen and Danielle, discuss all things related to nutrition for children of all ages so that you, the parents, can learn practical, evidence-based solutions to nourish your child long-term.
Hello, and welcome back to the Pediatric Dietitian. I'm Jen.
I'm Danielle.
And today we're going to talk about back to school. This is everyone's favorite time of year.
Oh, yeah.
The best time of year. It's so hot, so we're going to jump right in.
Yeah, I can't believe we're there already.
Went by fast.
Well, yeah, we'll definitely dive into realistic, feasible, like the nitty-gritty of preparing for back to school. And then specifically, we're going to get into lunches.
Okay. We're going to start with what not to do, and then we'll get to what to do.
Yeah, so stick around
back
for
to school.
The whole episode. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so what not to do. We have heard so many stories from parents. So all of what we're going to share are real life things we've heard from parents around here. So the first thing that comes to mind is packing too many snacks for your kid for school. And especially packaged snacks. So we're talking what, like goldfish? Oh yeah, that's a common one. Goldfish, any type of chips. Especially I see parents buy the big variety snack pack of the small, it's like Fritos, Doritos, whatever, Sun Chips. Then they'll have maybe pretzels or Pirate's Booty. And then they also have a fruit and then their main meal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so don't pack too many packaged snacks. I would say for majority of kids, one packaged snack per lunch. And honestly, I would really try to not do even that every single day. I would say chips 2-3 times a week. It shouldn't be the everyday because again, remember about how this affects them long term.
Yeah, they're going to get too used to that flavor that tastes sweet or tastes extra salty. And yeah, exactly. So I think the more that you can have one packaged snack or even nothing, and then have some real food on the side, like cheese sticks or fruit or just things that you make, like homemade banana bread or a muffin or something.
Yeah. So, and those are something you can kind of batch make too.
Yeah,
on
definitely.
a weekend, and then you can freeze individually, freeze the muffins or the banana bread individually, and then just pull it out throughout the week as you need it.
Yeah, exactly. Banana bread's a great one. Make these tiny little muffins, and it's you probably only need 2 bites of it.
Right. You can do the mini muffins in the smaller portions, depending on the age and size of your child. But that's definitely better, more controlled than a packaged snack because again, it's the point that these are hyper palatable or artificially enhanced flavors that we don't want to be in their diet daily because it drives these cravings. It shifts their signals for hunger and fullness. So 100 calories, for instance, from goldfish versus a homemade banana bread with real ingredients will change how your kid feels after.
Yeah.
So the crunch and the literally how it melts in their mouth for something like Cheetos, Puffs, or whatever, does not make them full on purpose. That is how the food was designed. So it's not just about the calories. It's about what's in the where do the calories come from, what's in them, and then the whole food science aspect of it is certainly involved.
And they're also definitely going to go for that packaged food first. They're not going to be I'm going to eat my nice, well-made sandwich first and then finish my Cheetos at the end.
Right.
They're always going to go for the packaged stuff. They're going to get kind of full off of it and then probably not get to the good stuff.
That's true. So that's something to keep in mind, especially for kids who are struggling with either end of the spectrum of growth, either overweight or underweight. So if you're trying to maximize all the calories and the protein for your underweight kid, it's we don't want them filling up on the
empty calorie kind of thing.
Right. It's there's not enough protein in those pretzels, And then for your overweight kid, it can do the opposite where it's it's driving cravings more and it's decreasing their satiety more. And then they're constantly hungry and it's just never shuts up. So it is interesting because again, we see that ultra processed food, those packaged snacks and meals can perpetuate both ends of the spectrum. Okay, so let's stick with one packaged snack maximum in a lunch.
Yeah.
2-3 times a week. And then as always with those packaged snacks, you can choose ones that are better or worse than others.
Yeah, definitely. The ingredients matter for sure. Just trying to read the labels and make some comparisons. And, different stores like Costco and stuff are starting to have like better options.
I've seen other things like bars like Jones Bar or Kai's bars. I've seen that at Costco sometimes. Those are really good snacks for your athletic kids who need to go from school to like we're driving now to soccer or whatever practice after, and they need like a really hefty snack. And these bars are like 200 calories each, and they're really great clean ingredients, 0 added sugar. And for your kids who don't need such a hefty snack, you can even just break those in half and put that in one slot of their little bento lunchbox.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Sometimes here and there, you know? But what else?
I think always too, like always try to put some type of vegetable. Even if your kid doesn't eat it or touch it, I always put a vegetable every day. Sometimes it comes back completely full. Sometimes it comes back completely empty. So you just have to offer it. It's their job of whether or not they want to eat it.
Right. But it's your job as a parent to place the balanced meal in front of them.
Exactly.
So cucumbers cut into sticks or slices, bell peppers cut into slices. What else?
Tomatoes, carrots, tomatoes.
Oh, tomatoes, yeah.
Like the crunch factor is really nice.
It can be really helpful for kids. Celery sticks. There's options. Some kids like raw broccoli with ranch, so whatever it is, whatever you have in the fridge this week, like even if your kid barely eats any vegetables, still just put like one slice, one little piece of something in there. It's not overwhelming. There's no pressure to eat it, but like they're seeing the message of it's always there.
Exactly.
I have the opportunity to change my mind and decide I am going to try this today. Mom's not hovering over me, so I feel less pressure. And you never know, they might just take a bite of it. But your role again as a parent is always put that balanced meal in front of them, but your job stops there. Like your job is not to make them eat it.
Yeah. Even those little pea crisps.
Oh yeah, the Harvest.
Yeah.
The like crisp. Yeah.
Those are like delicious.
Yes.
It's nice and crunchy. You feel like decent about it because there's a vegetable in there.
I know, right?
Even like leftovers.
In terms of like, just because we're using like the healthier thing like that, or like the Siete brand of chips or whatever, the healthier brand, it's still packaged. Okay. So even though we're using the healthier options of things, I don't think that's a reason to like give it all the time. What? It's just avocado oil and potatoes and salt. But again, we still have this like consistency of like it's the same every time I bite into it. It's the same texture, it's the same consistency, it's the same flavor, and that can perpetuate picky eating. It's like that crunch and meltability, so we can yet still have issues with not feeling full and having ridiculous cravings, even if it's the healthier brands. Okay, so we still have to pay attention to that. But when we can choose better quality stuff, we should. Why not? Yes,
exactly.
Especially if you have like less of it than you can afford.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just thinking back to like my lunchbox days, and I'm pretty sure there was like a fruit roll up in there.
I know, right?
So like we could do better than that. It's just so funny. I feel like as a kid we would get these packaged foods, or we get certain things like mac and cheese, and my mom personally used to make mac and cheese from scratch, never used the box. Well, give her credit for that. Now, like I feel like there's so many ways to make those kinds of foods at home, and it doesn't take that long.
Yeah, exactly. It's simply getting into like this nice routine of prep. Just the organized
ahead of time
aspects of it is so needed, so that to make it possible. And that always comes down to like values, priorities, your time, where your time is spent is like is reflecting what your values and priorities are as a family most of the time. In most circumstances. So yeah, when you can set aside the time to do some prep and get the kids involved, we're always about getting them involved. Like let's get all the cucumbers sliced for the rest of the week because they're going in your lunch boxes.
Exactly. It definitely cuts down so much on time. I've also found like making the lunch the night before, at least prepping most of it, is a huge help to like get out the door on time.
Absolutely. That's a must. Yeah.
Yeah, you kind of have to. I've recently started doing it, and my mind is blown. And doing it at 6:30 in the morning is not
So
fun.
stressful. Yeah. Okay. So what not to do? The other thing that has come up a lot is I'll see kids eating both the school lunch and home packed lunch. And these are kids struggling with obesity and overweight, rapidly rising weight. And sometimes the parents never know until they end up having a visit with me. And then it comes out in the visit, and the child's like, oh, no, I eat both.
And the parents like, really?
Really? He literally never said this. I'm like, did you ask?
Yeah,
Come
true.
on.
That's true.
Or it'll come out like, I don't know, at their next well child visit, and the pediatrician's like astounded by the weight gain, and then this comes out. So just checking in with your kid, like, it's about to be school. Like, what are we going to do about lunches? What's your preference? Let's look at the menu for school. There's only so much you can control, right? Like, you cannot control what they're eating from school because you're not there. You can talk to them about it ahead of time and explain, like, I really would prefer you to eat the lunch I pack because it's so much better for you. But in the end, if the pizza's there and they're like, I love pizza, they're going to eat the pizza. So, like, you should still have that conversation with them, and you should plan, like, okay, if you're definitely gonna have the pizza on Fridays, I won't pack the lunch.
Yeah, don't pack the lunch.
And then we're not doing pizza Fridays at home then anymore.
Yeah. So like, why waste the food too?
For
sure.
sure.
If they don't eat it.
Yeah. And then we don't want them eating double. The other thing I've seen in some school districts, at least in LA, they allow kids to get extra lunch from the share bin. Yes. Like, it's so sad because it's only the overweight kids who are getting that.
Yeah, but it's meant to like take home, right?
It's meant to take home.
Yeah.
And it's meant to be for the kids whose
For, like, the
families have like
weekender.
food insecurity. But I'm like, it's any of my obese patients
Anyone
who
can
are
do it.
eating 2 lunches because they're getting it from the share bin. And I'm like, oh dear God.
I've also heard of a lot of kids telling me that there's like food trucks at school now.
Yeah,
and they like,
what is that?
what is that? Like, I mean, I remember like, you know, kind of crummy like pizza on Fridays or something like that. Or we had McDonald's in high school. But
wow.
Food trucks?
Yeah, food
like
trucks.
that.
That's fun. I had a patient who every day after school, there's a vendor that comes outside with this cart with all these like the ice cream bars and the snacks. I'm like, oh God. And so they were getting that every single day. Actually, she was struggling with underweight. And so she would eat a sucky dinner because she would fill up all these snacks every day. I was like, oh, stop. And then once mom stopped that and implemented a couple other changes, her weight came up so nicely and she's not struggling with that anymore. But yeah, I've heard of kids like walking to In-N-Out, Subway. Oh my gosh, it's so frustrating. The famous thing in LA schools is coffee cake for breakfast and not lunch. Off topic slightly, but the choices in LAUSD.
Yeah.
Don't get me started.
Might as well just go for the donut at that point.
Apparently, it checks the box for whole grain.
Nice. Yeah.
I'm curious if they're going to implement any changes with like limits on sugar and like ultra processed ingredients this next school year. I've heard that they now allow schools to choose if they're going to include whole milk or not. Like, it's always been 2% or low fat. The studies really show that switching kids to 2% or low fat or non-fat milk after 2 has done nothing for childhood obesity. It has only gotten worse since that has been implemented.
What is it, 40 calories or something? It's just something different.
That's not, again, like, the issue is not the skin.
No.
It's the Cinnamon Toast Crunch you guys are wanting.
Or the Takis.
Yeah, exactly. Come on, let's realize what the real issues are that are driving childhood obesity.
Yeah.
So
should also probably stop serving soda at school because like that's pretty messed up.
Gatorade. Yeah, it's really
definitely
bad.
Talk to your kids about those kind of things because that's a bad
vending machine.
Exactly. And you think like you send them to school with a water bottle every day, but you know, you don't know if they're drinking it or what they're doing. So it's like you kind of, you got to talk to your kids about this. This is like your job too, you know?
Yeah, for sure. The other thing I see is kids usually with ADHD or ADD who really don't care about eating. It's like they could just be playing all day and never even remember that they're hungry. And these are usually the thin kids, the underweight kids, the kids who you're like, please eat. And they, especially the younger ones, like 8 to 10 years old, it's like having lunch and recess at the same time. They're just like, eat as fast as possible, which means barely anything, and then go play. Or don't eat at all, and then they just go play because they want all their recess time and all their time with their friends.
Yeah.
And then you're like, great, how do I get them to gain weight if they're barely eating their lunch or not at all? And then they come home starving and more dysregulated than ever. So what we do in these circumstances, again, focus on what you can control. You cannot make them eat lunch. They are not going to understand at 8 years old or having ADHD brain that, oh yes, food is so much more important than what I live with my friend. Like, give up that argument. Sure, it is still worth explaining. I still believe that you should still give the information to kids. We should still educate them because at one point, they will connect the dots. Okay.
Click.
Yeah. But in the meantime, just accept this is reality. My kid just cares about playing and being with his friends. He's so distracted. I've heard this. They're so distracted at lunch. Even though all their friends are eating, they're talking. You have the social butterfly kid.
Yeah.
What can you do? Well, we cannot have you go there with them for lunch, right? We don't want to have them go to the nurse's office and make sure they eat lunch. That's so like
lame. No one wants to be that kid.
No one wants to be that weird kid. Okay, we literally only recommend that for kids with true eating disorders when it's medically necessary. So the best thing to do is simply anticipate it, know that it's going to happen, and plan for it. Just like, okay, your kid who won't stop eating the school lunch. Accept it, plan for it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's make all his other meals as healthy as possible and just accept the fact he's going to eat the orange chicken at school for lunch. They serve orange chicken. I don't know. Okay, so the one who's not eating at school, at lunch at school, number one, like have a snack ready in the car that's somewhat light, okay, like fruit, and then just enough to hold them over during that short drive home, but not enough to fill them up because as soon as they get home, they should be sitting down to real lunch. Okay, so we're talking about 2:33 p.m. A real lunch should already be ready. Like, don't wait. They get in the door and they're like rummaging through the pantry and grabbing snacks.
What would you say about just having them eat their lunch from school that they did not eat?
Right. Well, absolutely.
Yes.
As
long as it's still safe and not perishable.
As long as you kept sending lunch. Some parents just stop eventually. Yeah. They're like, what? He doesn't even eat this.
I've done that before if I get home and I check my kid's lunchbox and it's completely like full, then I'm like, okay, we're going to go eat lunch right now. So, I mean, you don't want to waste it, and they obviously didn't get a good meal, so they're hungry.
Right. There's no need to like lecture them about not eating it, okay? Like, we don't want them to feel shame. Like, it's not their fault, really, that they care about being social and playing. That's a normal kid thing to want to do. So I wouldn't lecture them about it. I would explain, like, well, it's better for you if you eat then. You're probably starving the rest of the day, right?
Yeah.
Yes, but like, okay, move on from that. And then just if the lunch, they're like so put off by it because it's old, then you should probably stop sending that and just have it ready for them when they get home. But the point of that is also don't go to the drive-through when the kid gets in the car and they're starving because they didn't eat their lunch and they were playing. Don't use that as the reason to go through the drive-thru.
It's rewarding that behavior too, because then they're like, oh yes, I get to play and then I get chicken nuggets after school.
Right. Yes, you can't do that. You know that this is going to happen. They're not going to eat their lunch while at school. They're going to get in the car starving, have like a Ziploc bag of strawberries or an orange or whatever. And then remind them, no, I have your lunch ready at home. Don't worry, it's just a short drive. I mean, it's like the same amount of time as going through the drive-thru.
Totally. Or even like, instead of like packing this whole lunch and wasting it, like sending more of like a hearty snack, like a, protein-focused snack. Maybe not like such large portions that you would of a lunch if you know they're really not going to eat it.
Agreed.
What's the point of that?
Yes, I've actually recommended that before. I'm like, well, especially for the kids who do have sports at school.
Yeah.
Like they have to go do track or whatever. It's like, you can't not eat lunch and then go
You gotta eat
run.
something. Totally.
So I'm like, yeah, pack the Kai's bar or the Jones bar. Another one is Bob's Red Mill.
Yogurt.
Yeah, a yogurt tube and then a piece of fruit. That's something you can eat really quickly, but that's not total crap like Cheetos. A cheese stick with the ice pack and a piece of fruit. Just something that's small, quick, but balanced. So whenever we're talking about snacks, remember, we're always talking combinations. So the cheese and the fruit, the peanut butter and the apples, and otherwise it's just like the bars.
It makes it so much more satisfying to get that protein in there.
Yeah, it lasts longer.
Exactly.
If a kid just eats like a cutie, they're hungry in 10 minutes.
Oh, totally. I mean, I'm hungry.
And so that's also where we hear like, oh, my 5-year-old will eat a whole pint of raspberries. And I'm like, right, because it's only
just raspberries.
Have you have put cheese there? Yeah. Like just giving them a handful of raspberries, they may slow down on the raspberries.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was gonna say too, like if you have a slow eater, personally mine is very slow. I think practicing with them in the summer, trying to speed it up, maybe setting a timer or something and trying to practice on like, opening your food, taking enough time to eat, but also still be able to talk with your friends, but, try to make it a little bit snappier so they can get to the fun part. Let's go.
For the young ones, yeah, the toddlers, that's really important to do, for sure. Okay, so other tips we have for you guys, like things to do. For sure, ice packs when it's a cold-ish meal, or like kids have even told me, well, yeah, then the cucumber slices are like so gross.
Like warmer. Yeah.
Like, okay, guys, ice packs. Have we heard of this? And then they have these lunch boxes where you can put the whole thing in the freezer. Yeah. It's called Packet. That's at least one of the brands.
They're awesome. Yeah. Exactly. There's other ones where you freeze like like an ice pack in the bottom of it fits into like a bento box kind of thing. Okay. Yeah, exactly. But you definitely want to keep it cold. Obviously, if you're sending like a turkey sandwich or something, yes, you still want to keep it cold. A warm turkey sandwich is not appealing.
And then honestly, anything like that, like bacteria starts growing after about 2 hours. So yeah,
and like lunch isn't until like at least noon or 1. Like,
and then I'm always about the string cheese or the cheese stick in there. So that definitely needs an ice pack.
Yeah, you gotta keep it cold.
And then so with cold things, okay, some options for lunches that go with the ice pack. Any kind of like lunch meat sandwich, right? But with any sandwich, there are ways, as usual, that you can make it so much healthier. So like the bread, okay? Starting there, even just looking at the ingredients of that bread can make a huge difference in the quality of your kids' nutrition at lunch. A brand that we love is One Mighty Mill. That's like just a typical sandwich bread. It's making its rounds now. It's getting more and more stores. They're now at Costco, but they're usually like Sprouts and Whole Foods and like those health food stores. But they're just like in the typical sandwich bread aisle. Besides that, sourdough bread. Like any of the sandwich style sourdough breads, they're usually in the bakery section or near the lunch meat in the grocery store. But just like the sliced. That's always usually better ingredients than a typical sandwich.
Yeah. If your kid will do like a wheat bread, you want to find the 100% whole wheat.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So and that should be the first ingredient.
And still read the ingredients because just on the outside, if it says 100% whole wheat, does not necessarily mean it's all healthy ingredients beyond that. So there can still be like a whole paragraph and it can still include sugar. There shouldn't be any in bread. And sourdough naturally doesn't have any sugar. And neither does this other brand.
But yeah, I mean, so even, sprucing up a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, of course, you want to like start with a good piece of bread. For peanut butter, you just want peanuts and salt. You want it very basic. No other ingredients. Jelly is kind of the same thing. I feel like jelly should just be like fruit.
Picked in. It's hard to find those brands. But definitely turn those jars around and look for that.
The ones that are good, they say like 100% real fruit, exactly, or like no added sugar, things like that.
I think we like the brand called sugar. I think we do like the brand called Smash Jam.
Oh, is that the brand? Smash?
Where it has like the chia seeds in it. So it's that's tough because some kids might not like that texture. It's definitely way more expensive.
Yeah, but they're good. The other thing I've done is like literally smash raspberries.
Perfect.
So,
yeah. For your youngest too, who don't know any about
easy
it,
peasy. They have no idea.
there.
Exactly.
Banana slices on peanut
Yeah.
butter sandwiches are good. Honey, honestly, just raw honey.
I do like almond butter and honey.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Or like there's sun butters now, like if there's food allergies in
food
school.
allergies.
It's so hard to navigate, especially if it's not your kid. 'Cause you obviously still care, but do you care as much? Exactly. It'd be like so much easier, but
when there's restrictions from the school because of food allergies, that certainly makes it tough. And then you were saying something about more restrictions at your school. Tell us how you're navigating that.
Yeah, we have our son in a school that keeps kosher, so we can't have any meats that unless it comes from the school because they don't want it.
Yeah. So what are some things you're gonna ban?
Yeah. I mean, we also we have like a bunch of food allergies in our class too, so we're doing lots of sun butters. I'll make these little like non-pizzas in the air fryer.
Oh, okay, cool.
That's a good one. Or like a bagel and cream cheese kind of thing. Like
you could do like quesadilla.
Exactly. Tuna, we were allowed to do tuna. So we do tuna.
You could do tuna like if your kid likes tuna. You could do that like twice a week. You shouldn't do more than like twice a week, I think, for the mercury. And then also, FYI on the mercury, if you choose like the one that does not say albacore tuna, it's like the cheaper light tuna or like the pink one that's lower in mercury. It's a smaller fish. So yeah. I didn't get these questions all the time. Yeah. So I've had to learn.
Researching my albacores.
And then you can make tuna salad healthier by using like the mayonnaise that's made from avocado.
We honestly do tuna with avocado and a squeeze of lime.
Oh, that's awesome.
I don't personally like it, but
yeah, I know. My husband would not eat.
Yeah, I'm not like an avocado tuna. I don't know.
But a lot of kids, especially toddlers, will eat that.
Yeah.
I've gotten into making it kind of Asian style tuna salad. I like to use, in place of soy sauce, I've always used something called coconut aminos. It's made from coconut. It has like 3 ingredients or something. It's a little sweeter than soy sauce. But it's so much lower in sodium and just overall it's a better product. So I'll use coconut aminos. There's like a chili garlic sauce. Yeah, that like red. Yeah. And then I think that's all I use.
Really?
Yeah. Sometimes I'll like chop up the seaweed snacks, I'll like cut those just for texture. It's yummy. Yeah. And with crackers.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah. You can also do like a charcuterie.
Oh,
honestly, for your kids' school, especially if it's like, I ran out of food.
And it's hot or something.
I've heard a lot of kids don't like sandwiches. I'm like, that sucks.
You just call it girl lunch, and it's like deconstruct. It's a Lunchable. That's essentially what a Lunchable. Yeah.
So
cut it into different shapes.
Don't do American cheese. Okay, like do real cheese, and you can slice it into cubes or slices. Look at your cracker ingredients. Again, anything coming from a package, read the ingredients. There's good cracker options out there. Our favorites right now are these brand called Firehook. We're like obsessed with them right now. But there's lots of options. And then again, do a little bit of a fruit and always that vegetable.
Exactly.
Oh, and so if we're doing a hot lunch.
Yeah, there's different like bento box kind of things where it comes with like a thermos and you have to pour water in the thermos, like heat it up. And then, then you can use things like, chicken nuggets or any kind of like leftovers from the night before, pasta or something.
Yeah, seen on Instagram, even some parents sharing like good tips about that. Like heat up the food to steaming hot before you put it in there. Put that really hot water in there first, dump it out. And then they've even shared like if you put a paper towel in there, especially for something crispy like the chicken nuggets, it helps. From getting not mushy.
Cool.
But there's little tips and tricks that you can look up on Instagram for that. But I would say even try to experiment with it before school starts. To see, like, did it work? Like do it in the morning and then serve it at lunch to see if it worked. With leftovers, just always make sure to include that protein, especially if you're serving pasta. We cannot just do butter noodles, guys. Not a full meal. Again, remember, even if your kid doesn't eat the protein, you have to put it there. It is your responsibility to serve that balanced meal, whether it's mixed in or on the side. It could be cheese, it could be Italian sausage, it can be the meatballs, the meat sauce, whatever. chicken, but serve the protein, have the vegetable there. Including that vegetable really helps cut down on the packaged snacks because it's taking up a spot.
Tricking their minds.
Yeah. It's taking up that spot in their little box. So
yeah, I will say too, if your kid is more like on a picky eater side, like don't send them to school with a bento box full of all new foods. Like you still have to put like the safe foods that you know they're gonna eat, so that you know that they get something good out of that meal. Like, I wouldn't just send my kid to school with something that I wasn't completely sure he's going to eat it and give no other option.
Right. And so it is still good to include new foods, but that should be the smallest thing in their lunchbox.
One square of it is like the new food. The rest of it, make sure. I don't know. Sometimes, like, well, let's call it peer pressure, but sometimes peer pressure happens and, like, kids will actually eat different things at school that they want at home.
Right. Yeah, it's so true. I'll see that work well with some kids and then not with others. And then turn it.
Yeah.
But I think it depends on their personality. But
exactly.
Yeah. The other thing to remember about this going in is do not feel this pressure of like, it has to be the most elaborate, Instagrammable lunch. Like varied. Every day is a new thing.
Yes.
We don't need that. Like, did we not grow up on just like a PBJ every day? That's how I grew up. It does not have to be so varied. Let's use dinner for more variety. Let's try to get 2 solid main options for lunches going into this school year and rotate them.
Exactly.
If your kid really gets bored of it, invite them to come up with ideas.
Yeah.
That's a good topic to have
Make
at
the meal
family
plan
dinner.
together.
It's like, okay, let's brainstorm. What do you guys think? You know, get them involved. It should not all be on you. Open the discussion. Get the kids helping prep their lunches with age-appropriate tasks at each age group. And eventually you get into like a routine and a rhythm, but it doesn't need to be Lunchables, Uncrustables, everything from a box. Trying to do as much real food as possible should continue with the school lunches.
And make it ahead of time. So like on a Sunday, make a whole bunch of those sandwiches or like Uncrustable kind of things. Put them in the freezer.
Oh yeah, making your own Uncrustables.
Make your own stuff. You got this, Mom. Or Dad.
Or see what you can make ahead of time and then do so. Like if it's just we're chopping all the veggies for this week, you know. Like we
chop the fruit when you like clean the fruit. If you're washing the fruit, like chop them up then. Like it's so much easier. You're gonna save yourself so much time.
Banana bread, whatever it is that can be done ahead of time, try to do so. Like obviously we're not doing lunch meat sandwiches ahead of time, gross, but other things can be done ahead of time.
Something that's not too soggy.
All right, guys. Well, I hope you have some takeaways from today about keeping your kids healthy with your home packed lunches as much as possible going into this next school season. And feel free to write us with more questions and ideas that you'd like us to talk about for next month.
Yeah, so follow us on Instagram. We'll have lots of good back to school tips. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Pediatric Dietitian. Don't forget to subscribe and share with another parent who could use a little extra support.